Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. This is the Snort Report. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here yet again with one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Again, the same sub goals and officially a thot's first purchase on the Amazon wishlist. Now, I do not know what the sub goal is, to be honest. If I had to guess, it is more than likely a retrospective stream, because that's the only thing that Phil believes is successful, despite the fact that he's slowly killing it off, but I could be wrong. And, I mean, either which way, he's running out of ideas. He's running out of ideas, and people know it. And when you lack a level of creativity and you lack ideas, you open yourself up to be taken advantage of by people who feel the need to take advantage of you. So that should be interesting to see either which way. And apparently he has his first purchase off the Amazon wishlist. Yay. If you guys remember the last broadcast, there was a bunch of buggy mechanics. He thought it was trolls. Really, it might have been his own Mtcdood. Who could say? But someone finally came through and bought something. So let's find out what it was. And we'll laugh all the way to the bank with it, to the piggy bank, if you will. Hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, let's not delay it any further. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Snort Report. And this is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. I don't smell no bacon cooking yet, so allow me to get right to that. Just give me a second. Just let me do it. Let me work. Please let me work. And it's time to watch me work. It wasn't like anybody surprised that, you know, someone bought something. Seriously.
That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
First of all, guys,
as it should. Ladies and gentlemen, yet again, we're here at one of our favorites, Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Again, same sub goals, and officially a thot's first purchase on the wish list. Sorry about that last part. Here we go.
Amazon wishlist has launched. It does work, despite the fact that trolls found a way to mark every single item on the wish list as already purchased.
Which is annoying, obviously. The wish list is working. No one's bought
that right there is kind of symbolic. It's the fall of Chestnut, and we never seen another mascot ever again. But give Lightside Bill a little bit of time, and he'll predict. I'm sure he'll come up with another one, and then Phil will eventually hear it and be like, you know what, that's a good idea, and he'll run with it. I'm surprised though he never ended up getting that frog mascot. It'd be funny, but we'll see sooner than later.
Yet to my knowledge. So, check it out. There's two ways you can access the wish list.
Shouts out to LSB.
Look below the stream. It's right there on my main channel page in a panel. Or you can type !wishlist into the stream chat. All this is credits for PlayStation Network or Nintendo, the Nintendo Shop or Xbox Live. So that coming up with the new releases this year, I can just buy the new games digitally and don't have to worry about, you know, dropping money from my tips and the like to afford to pay for those games. So if you want to contribute to the cost of streaming, you want to help out, you absolutely can by checking out my wish list, okay?
Let the green roll in. Milk and honey, I like to say.
The funny thing is, all Phil is doing, if you guys, for all of you who are paying attention, I know you are, at least some of you, all Phil's doing is stretching the herd thin, literally. Like, how many ways, and this has been said plenty of times before, but how many ways does he expect people to donate to him? You know what I mean? Like, it's more, if you are a Phil supporter, right? It's more viable to go ahead and donate to the Amazon wish list and help him rack up credits than to actually give him money directly. Because now you're kind of forcing him to work to be able to get more, to bring more money in, if you think about it. And for Phil, I don't think he's thinking about it, but now he has no choice but to work hard. Because now there's no problem, at least for right now, being able to get access to the new games. It's all there. All he has to do now is just work harder to make the stream more entertaining, as if he can do that. So, in a lot of ways, this Amazon wishlist is going to be, it's going to force him to be better. Not really, but it'll at least force him to work harder, which will probably make him more miserable. At the same time, I still hold on to the theory that from a tax standpoint, and I'm sure there's some other detractors out there who are thinking the same thing, eventually that shit might blow up in his face later. I don't know how yet. Don't get me wrong. I don't know how yet, but I feel like it will. Because Phil's an idiot, you see, and he tends to try to get over on people and on the system itself any way he sees fit, any way that he thinks is possible. So, for someone who owed 3 years of backstate business and occupation tax, you're telling me he wouldn't try to somehow skew his taxes a little bit using this Amazon service and not reporting certain things? Just saying. DSP News.
Once someone finally buys something there, I'll let you guys know how it goes, if it's working or whatever, okay? Alright, continuing on. This month is the month of July. It's the middle of the year, right? Officially, this is the start of the second half of the year. And I've been thinking about, what do I want to do in regards to a monthly subs goal for the month of July? And I have two ideas. I want to run them by you, and I'm going to take your input for the next couple of days before I officially set up the subscriber goal. So let me run these by you. Alright, here's my two ideas, alright, for a sub goal for this month. The first idea I have is the return of the retrospective event.
Okay, first things first. We already called this. A lot of people already called this because this is going to be like his go-to thing. His go-to thing. It shouldn't be a sub goal though. It honestly should be just. It should be like a quarterly goal that he should just do. But whatever. All right, this is going to be one of his go-tos. Here's the problem. The last retrospective stream we had was utter trash. It's been in a decline since he's done it. But the more frequently he does it, the worse it's going to be. But the last one was garbage. Remember how he was like, well, where's the funny parts in the video, man? Where's the entertaining part? This isn't very entertaining. Ugh. And he just kept skipping around through videos. He couldn't even appreciate his own artwork. His own pig slop. So he expects anybody else to do it, but now he wants to do it again. And all the things that people wanted to see 2, maybe even 3 retrospective streams ago, they're probably not interested in seeing that now. Phil will probably be willing to play it now, but they're probably not interested in it. Most of them are not even going to show up. Oh no, he played his cards wrong. He played his cards wrong. But let's hear his explanation, because he is the businessman who ran a successful online-based business for 11 years. Hence, what his legacy is, allegedly.
Yeah, the people are idiots.
It's honestly sad because the truth of the matter is, there's people in life who, like, they feel responsibility. They feel like, man, if I have a moral right to do the right thing, if I go to work, I should do a good job. Then there's people who just have none of that.
They feel that they could just be fucking no-loads their whole life and never actually put in any kind of effort into anything they do, and just pass by, you know, get on the bare minimum, just fucking scoot on by, and everyone's always gonna fucking, you know, hold their ass their entire life and pick up the slack for them and shit like that. And there's tons of fucking people like that out there. I call them no-loads.
Because, yeah.
Well, then you're a no-lo. That's you to a T. That's you to a T.
If there are people out there who actually did due diligence, everyone worked, everyone cared, everyone wanted to...
If you did due diligence, you wouldn't owe 3 years of backstate tax.
...do the right thing, everyone went above and beyond, then we'd have the problems of our planet...
If you did due diligence, you wouldn't have bought a house in the state of Washington when you still owed money on the house in Connecticut.
...fucking exist.
But people don't do that. They all want to just be, oh, I want to be a lazy fuck. I just want to pass by life with my legs kicked up.
If you were doing due diligence, you wouldn't have spent all of your money in the first 3 years or so of your YouTube career, in air quotes, to only end up broke 2 or 3 years later.
Leeching off of fucking others and not actually doing anything productive or actually thinking for myself. I just want to be this fucking cow who chooses fucking cud, a brainless idiot, fluff content because they don't want to actually work anymore. And that's the bottom line. There's no effort behind that. Anyone can fucking do that. They just went to the lowest common denominator to make their fucking money now. Have some fucking pride in your work. Because right now, it's basically little to no extra effort to just re-upload the archives of what I'm doing on stream to YouTube to make extra money.
Like, there's no effort here at all.
And so now I can just turn on a webcam and immediately guys just throw me money with zero effort. And obviously it's not even quality, it's just exploiting, right? It's exploitation is the real word for it, I guess. Minimum effort, minimum money and time involved, maximum profit. Is saying, how can we...
But it wasn't even maximum profit. Like, there were ways that he could have done it to increase his profit margin, to increase it, and it wouldn't have really taken that much effort at all. But he's stupid, you see, so he never did it. I mean, that's what he did his whole YouTube career, and he was praised for it. He was rewarded for it early on, and then later on, he bashed other people who try to take it to another level or who try to improve for themselves. Did it affect him directly? Eventually, it was going to. But it didn't affect him right then and there, but yet he still felt the need to bash those people and to, more importantly, bash those practices because he felt like it was messing up the gaming industry, or the gaming industry on YouTube, if you want to call it that. And now look at him. Now look at him. He's still outdated. In 2019, he's still outdated. What he's doing now is no different than what people were doing in 2015. Basically, the game constantly evolves. And the business constantly evolves. That's what keeps the business moving year after year after year. No one's saying you have to adapt it all right away, but you do have to adapt to it eventually. But Phil won't do it, because if it's too hard, then why bother? Wonder if Kat thinks that.
Have revenue streams from idiots. How do we fool the common moron into giving us money for zero effort?
Where if we hit a sub goal, then we're going to be doing a new retrospective event by which people will be nominating things that we can go back and watch together. I do this every 2 to 3 months. They seem to go very well. We did one last in early June. People really liked it. If we hit the sub goal this month, then the retrospective would either be in late July or early August. All right. Now, I've done a lot of these retrospectives. I understand these are getting old. So if you guys don't want a retrospective, my other idea is the return of something that I did 1 year ago that seemed to go down pretty well, and people, quite frankly, liked half of it and didn't like half of it, and I'll explain why in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the return of the Rageathon.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think about that. That's going to be dumb. Unless people bait him into questions, which they more than likely will. And even then, I mean, that's probably the best that's going to come. That's probably the best that's going to come out of it. Because Phil will fake the rest. He'll fake most of it. He's known for doing that. Just like how he stretches out games on purpose, or how he purposely sandbags certain games. Same concept. So that's wow, that's weak. That's as weak as that Kool-Aid that he calls a tomato sauce.
Yeah.
Meaning if we hit the sub goal this month, people will be able to nominate games that will cause rage-inducing games for me to play in a marathon setting. Okay? So those were my ideas for the sub goal for this month, okay? What do you guys think? I mean, when I said another retrospective, people were like, nah, another one. When I said the Rageathon, people were like, alright, maybe. So, I guess we're leaning more towards the Rageathon, huh?
Why can't we do like a poorly cooking with the king or something? Or why can't we do like a cooking with Kat or something? Why can't we just do something else besides the same old tired ass fucking content that you always want to produce? Like, you already have two options that people are like, meh, on. So how about we try something a little bit different, Phil? Something a little bit out the box. Outside of your comfort zone, if you will.
Slee did a 50-bit cheer. And that was the first cheer of the stream, actually. He says, did you receive the PSN gift code? If not, I can email it to you. I'm not sure what that means. Are you saying that you tried out my wish list? I didn't see anything come into my emails, but what I can actually do, I can check on my Amazon account and see if anything came through, because there's two areas that supposedly it's supposed to show up. One, there's an actual page that says digital gifts you've received, and the other page says, you know, your games and digital codes. Alright? So, Slay, is that what you're saying? Slay, I don't know how to say your name. Is it Slee? I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I feel bad. Yeah.
I feel bad because you're giving me money. It's not that I really give a shit. It's just I feel bad because you're giving me money.
Pronounce your name. But anyway, I'm assuming that's what he's saying. So let me run over to the PC quickly. I'll check those two things, and I'll let you know if anything came through. Alright? If not, you're absolutely right. If you
Does he not know he can check it through his app on his phone? Whatever. Just throwing that out there.
got the code, you could just send it to me anyway, regardless. You could buy it and then send it to me. But let me check. Alright, let me go over here and check. Alright. So, from what I can see, Slee-I, I don't see anything. I don't see anything in the, digital gifts you've received, and I also don't see anything in the section that says, you know, your digital games library. So if you indeed did actually receive a code and were trying to gift it to me, please email that to darksidefil@hotmail.com, and then I'll let you know if it works. Alright? Again, this is the first time we're actually trying this system, so this is good. We're gonna learn how it works. It honestly makes absolutely no sense. You know, it makes no sense whatsoever that this would be like this. You would think it would be an easy system where you could just get something for someone and then you get it immediately. Guess what? It's not. It's a pain in the fucking ass. As I said yesterday, I'm not going to go on a giant rant about the Amazon wishlist again today. It seems like it's a really broken, stupid process where people control and pretend like they bought stuff that they didn't, and you don't get the stuff automatically. It seems like the Amazon wishlist is actually absolutely god-awful, and people who have been using it just basically, you know, are either flubbing it or they're using some kind of weird way to use it, or they don't have people who fuck with them like I do. I don't know, but people saying that it's easy, you're wrong. It's not. It doesn't fucking work.
Whining, complaining.
Actually, why didn't he just get Swaggins or Golden Colts? I think I've already said this, but why didn't he just get like Swaggins or Golden Colts or somebody to fucking just send it to him? Something. Anything. Why wasn't that a thing? Why didn't you get Sidella? You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you get Rob Warren? Why didn't you just get somebody to test it out for you? Actually, I think he said in the last broadcast or the one before that he was going to, and he just never did it because he's a lazy piece of shit. Hurtful. Just hurtful. And yet, he's supposed to be the real gamer. He's supposed to be a real, legitimate gamer. Like, that helps his case nor the gaming community. I feel like years from now, many, many years from now, when there's a couple of little GTGs walking around here, I would assume by then there are going to be articles that are going to come out, and they're going to look at the life and times of Darkside Phil, and they're going to realize he was a much larger deficit than he ever was anything positive. Not only in gaming, not only in the FGC, maybe in his own life in general. He's slowly but surely moving himself that way. And people like Wings and people like Low Tier God will actually be praised in some type of way, shape, or form. Or they'll be given some type of recognition, more than what Phil will. So in a lot of ways, Phil moving down the path that he's continuing to move down is only going to help Wings and people like Low Tier God later on. So good job, Phil. Good job. You try to use, I don't know, you hate Wings for whatever reason, and you tried to use LTG or Low Tier God as a crutch for you to get over and whatnot. And in the end, both of them will benefit off you. And you're not even smart enough to see it. You have no clue. Because even if Phil could do right, he wouldn't. Amazing. Just amazing. He's okay with being a stepping stool for other people. And why not? He tried to use other people as stepping stools and he failed miserably. It's only fair. It's only karma.
Okay.
Slee-I cheered again. He said, yes, I used the wishlist, and it's Slee-a. It's pronounced Slee-a? Slee-a. Okay, Slee-a. Or is it Slee-a? You typed it out S-L-E-E space A. I don't know if that's Slee-a or Slee-a. Is it a hard A? Or is it a light A? Oh my god. Anyway, thank you. Then he cheered again. He said, what is the email? And I told him. So there you go. Thank you for the cheers this morning.
They're not using conscious thought anymore. Okay, I'm indoctrinated. Sounds good.
Slee cheered 500 bits and said, I emailed it to you, sorry for the inconvenience. And then he says, the second one's Slee. So it's Slee. That's how you pronounce his name. Thank you very much for letting me know because I was very confused here. So that was 2 500-bit cheers. Let's go ahead and get you up on the leaderboard for said 500-bit cheers. Thank you very much for those multiple cheers. I appreciate that very much. Ah, crap.
Now here's my question. In a couple of weeks, I wonder if someone will send him like a 50-bit cheer and ask, hey, who was the very first person who bought something off your Amazon wish list? And he'd be hard pressed to remember that. If he does, I'd be completely surprised, and I'll admit I'm wrong, but I feel like he won't.
I appreciate that very much, but I screwed up and put a double bracket. Okay. So, Slee, let's check, because he wants me to see, make sure that the code worked and everything, and I can do that. I can definitely do that for you right now. We can check. Alright, added. So, shout out to Slee. It was a $10 code for PlayStation Network. And now I have $10 of credit on PlayStation Network, thanks to Slee.
You're a complete idiot. Thanks for the money. That was stupid.
It seems like now we know how it's going to work. Sadly, this Amazon wishlist doesn't fucking work at all. What you need to do is you buy the code and then you send me the code. But at least this is a list of the codes, so you can buy the code and then send me the code and then I can use it. So if you're interested, guys, in getting something off my Amazon wishlist, you absolutely can. It's not as easy as we like, but at least it works. What you do is you select something on the wishlist, you buy it, it'll give you the code, then email me the code at darksidefil@hotmail.com, and that's how I can use it. Alright? There you go. So the Amazon...
I mean, sorry about that. To be honest, it works better this way. Because it almost guarantees that, first off, the person who is buying the code doesn't lose their money on some bullshit. Not that they would, but you know what I mean. And secondly, they just email Phil. It forces Phil to be more diligent. But they email Phil. Phil sees who that person is, sees the code, he punches it in, and then it's all gravy. So basically, the person who's buying it has turned into the middleman. But still, it's probably easier that way than any other way. Because Phil will probably mess it up if it was going strictly through Amazon anyway. It's safer. To be honest with you, it's probably safer this way.
Obviously, this works. It's just a little bit...
It does open him up to be trolled too, but I'm not going to let that cat out the bag. Someone will figure it out. but I already figured out... I just now thinking about it, there's like 2 ways of trolling the shit out of him on it. I'll save that. We're going to put that to the side. I'll bring that up later.
It's not as easy as we'd like it to be, but it does work. Indeed, it works. Okay? Vote Democrat did 101-bit cheer. He says, I don't have any good food for this stream. All I have is bacon, mac and cheese, Devour frozen dinners. Why did you buy those? They are disgusting. They're like the worst quality food. I'm serious, dude. They're terrible. Devour is like really nasty.
Devour.
You should just throw those out and go get something else. I'm serious. I wouldn't eat those.
Save the pig.
But it's obvious you have eaten them if you know how bad they are. And that's if they're even bad. So, yeah, wouldn't my ass.
What the heck? A pig with a party hat. Hello, Mr. Piggy. Ziggy Piggy. Save the pig, the game. The whole game you're trying to save the pig's life. Help! What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a scammer. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
Holy snap! I didn't realize it was gonna be that short. Okay, so instead of doing the giving you guys another video later, which is normally I wouldn't mind doing, we're just gonna go ahead and tack another one onto this. So yeah, I'll see you guys in literally just a second. Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy!
This is how to play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
Alright, sounds good to me.
Just so everyone knows.
As it should. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna add a bonus broadcast onto this. We are here yet again with Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Excuse me. Low interactions plus using a guide again. Should be good. It should be good. Oh, Phil might as well get used to being Phil should get used to the fact that 2019 is going to be one of those years where he's going to see a drastic decline in viewership on YouTube and on Twitch. The money, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But viewership itself is what he's going to have to pay attention for. Do any of you guys remember back in the day where, well, not that far back, only like a year or two, when Phil would not even start his streams until he had 400 people locked in on the pre-stream before he would end it and actually start gameplay? Or even before he would start the pre-stream at times. Now, he starts that up at like 200. So times have certainly changed in a very short amount of time. So even with all the money and everything, and it's debatable how good the money is, because a majority of it, if I had to say so, if I had to guess, is given behind the scenes. I would say the money's probably not that great either. It's probably better than he could ever expect given the amount of viewership, but it's probably not great. So 2019 is going to be the year of declines, and it's going to be the year of realization on his part that you're not going to make it another 10 or 15 years, Phil. You're really not. You're going to have, one day, you're going to have like 50 people on stream, and you're going to have $0 after 4 hours, and you're going to be really pissed off. And by then, it'll be way too late. And by then, if I'm still around, I might actually be streaming. And I'll have like quadruple your numbers. Anyway, and using guides, I mean, Phil's a cheater. So what more do you need to know? If he just admitted that I used the guide to figure out how to beat this boss, that'd be one thing. But he won't do it. He won't do it. And we know he's obviously using a guide, but he won't go through, he won't be as brutally honest as he should be as it pertains to what it took to beat the game for whatever reason. Especially, keep in mind, using a guide isn't a problem, but the fact that he's playing the game on normal and he won't learn the moves, he won't learn the maneuvers, and he won't take a minute to actually think about a situation, especially when you think of boss fights and stuff like that, is one of the reasons why he primarily fails all the time. But it's neither here nor there. Here we go.
The Amazon wishlist is publicly available. If you look below the stream, there's a section on my stream. Number one, I've added a Genesis Mini.
Oh my god! Why am I toxic? More toxic, more toxic.
Because people expressed desire to see me play the games on the Genesis Mini when it comes out.
You can emulate Genesis games, though. He can do that on his PC. Okay, what? I guess we're doing it for the nostalgia's sake. We'll see if anybody buys it. That should be interesting.
That would be a cool, like, 1 or 2 day event, maybe, where you could play the Genesis Mini on a couple major streams and play the variety of games that are in it. I was like, yeah, that's great, but not for $80. You see what I mean? It's $80. So
okay, so if it's $80, then hell no, you better be playing that for more than 1 or 2 streams, so people can get their so whoever it was that pays for it gets their money's worth out of it. You better play that for at least a month, if not 2. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, you see how bad he is with the newer games, or as Phil likes to call it, the modern games. You really think he's going to be able to go back and play some of the older games where you had to grind, where you had to learn, and there's no save points or nothing, none of that bullshit? Well, some of them do, but some of them don't. And whatnot, and he has to take infinite deaths to get past a boss? Oh, this should be good. This should be real good.
On the wish list, if someone pre-orders it and the Genesis Mini is purchased, I will I'll do that. I'll do a special event, the Genesis Mini launch event.
Wait, isn't there? Oh, I'm sorry for all the pausing and everything, but isn't there a Genesis collection out for the PS4 and probably the Xbox, respectfully? Why don't he just buy that? And that's only like $15-20, if that much. Goddamn, feels a goddamn hoarder. Really is. Like, goddamn hoarder. Like, you don't need, and I'm speaking to him directly, you don't need, Phil, any more fucking peripherals as it pertains to new systems, minis or not. You don't need them. Did you ever get the NES Mini? Did you ever get the Super NES Mini? Why didn't you get those? But you want to get the one for Genesis because what? So you can play Sonic for the fucking 15th goddamn time? Come on, man. Come on.
Okay. In addition to that, I re-added Dragon Quest Builders 2, the digital code, to the Amazon wish list because previously it was on there and it had been marked, oh, someone bought it, but no one did. Alright, so I put it back on there. If someone wants to pre-buy that game for me, that's the new release next week, the end of next week. And yes, I am willing to play it on the Switch, since the Switch barely gets any use. I'd be more than happy to play it on the Switch since people want to see me play games on the Switch. So I put that version up there on the wish list, okay? And I've added a very inexpensive Switch controller.
Disgusting beggar.
It's the Hori gamepad. It's only like $17. I like Hori controllers. I like, Hori's quality of stuff. I own...
If it's so inexpensive, why don't you buy it? If you're not wanting to buy an $80... an $80 emulated console, that's one thing, and that's all on you. But if it's so inexpensive, why don't you buy it? Why don't you buy the $17 controller? Can't wait to hear all the shenanigans that comes out of that. But Hori is a good brand though. I own actually a couple of their arcade sticks or fight sticks, and they're definitely very good quality. So I'll give him at least that much.
Hori joystick that I've been using here for 4 years, and I love their stuff. I bought them over the years. Many different Hori sticks I've used, and gamepads as well. I trust their quality, and the reason I want it is because...
How many of those have you broken? Because if you've ever seen Phil play a fighting game, and the way he just it's like a goddamn caveman on those buttons, I would assume that they didn't get a whole lot of life out of it. Hence the reason why he kept buying more and more of them. Well, that, and he's a hoarder too.
Nintendo Pro Controller is a piece of shit. It just really is. The D-pad does not properly work right. It frequently does things you don't push it or tell it to do. And if I'm going to be playing many games on the Switch coming up, including Dragon Quest Builders 2 and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, among others probably later on this year, I want to get a better controller. Alright? So I've added those 3 things to the Amazon wish list. So if you buy something from the Amazon wish list that's a physical item, such as the Genesis Mini or that Hori controller, those should basically ship to me automatically. If you buy something that's digital, for example, one of these PSN credit codes, you're going to get the code.
Now, real quick, remember it was like a broadcast? It was either the last broadcast or the one before. Remember when he was saying that he was having trouble with the Amazon wish list, and people were like, hey, you don't have an address up there? What do I need it for? It's all digital. It's all digital. And I had said, eventually he's going to start moving on to the physical stuff, which he proves that here, but everybody was saying that, so it was just even flow. A lot of people thought it was going to be a laptop first, but, it made sense for it to be gaming peripherals first, and then he'll just gradually move on. But he said that he didn't have an address up there, and he didn't see the point of it, and then eventually he ended up adding it. That right there was proof positive that that was proof positive to me. He was going to start getting into the physical stuff. Didn't think it was going to be this quickly, but either which way. And Snort Burnell actually brings up a pretty good point. Phil might want to consider buying cherry juice through Amazon. If he buys it in bulk, it might be cheaper. But, excuse me, doesn't Phil have like a Sam's card or something? Because when Kat moved there, when she first moved there, he said that they were going to go out and get like a food club card because it would be cheaper to buy everything in bulk. So I'm just asking, because if he's going to like Trader Joe's or wherever he has around him to buy cherry juice, it's probably extremely expensive. So it'd probably be cheaper to buy it in bulk. But, that requires common sense.
Send it to me. We found this out yesterday because it was Slie, a stream viewer, said, I want to test it. So he bought the $10 PSN code. But he got it instead of me. It said he sent it to him. So he emailed me the code, and I was able to enter it and get the credit. So, yeah, that's how this Amazon wishlist is going to work. Okay?
Wow! I can't wait for the money! This is the year of the cheap cash grab.
Oh, yeah, that. Okay, so to basically sum this up, you know how Phil always says he never loses a chargeback ever, and then he that, you know, he's always won every chargeback. Then he walked that back slightly and said, oh, but if the person gets their money back, I don't know anything about it because I still keep the money that was given to me. Well, apparently, somebody over there actually gave him a little bit of money and then tried to charge it back to see what would happen. And he got his money back. He got his money back. I don't know if he got banned before he charged it back or not, but he did get his money back, and he posted, well, he redacted, you know, his personal information, obviously, but he did put up the document saying that he did get his money back. And it was easy. So, there you go on that, Phil.
Oh, shit.
Matter of fact, I think James the Lesser actually may have gone over a full video for that. If I can find it or if I remember it, I will leave the link to that in the description. If not, just check out James the Lesser's channel. He makes great content, and I'm sure you'll find it over there if he made it.
And then Thursday night, I'm going to be doing a 2-hour stream of Judgment. Judgment now will be moving into a late stream kind of a deal. Today I did the last major stream of it. I'm 16 hours into the game now. The game is great. I love it, but sadly it's just not catching on with that earlier viewing audience. What happens is every day people are excited for the first hour, then they start to get bored. Then by the time I come back from my mid-stream break, this viewership has completely dwindled, and today people were barely even talking in the stream chat to the point where I was like, this sucks. I guess this game is going to be more catered towards a chill stream, much like my Yakuza playthroughs were, because people are just not paying attention to the game on the earlier stream. So it's just got to be switched up, okay?
Right, and Cal talking completely out of their ass. He says, oh, but when contributions are low, you switch games. I've never done that ever. When have I ever, in the middle of a stream, said, well...
You've done that quite a few times, actually, Phil. That's nothing new at all. You've done that quite a few times. And this right here is just another example of it. It's what Phil does. It's what Phil does. And that's why the earlier streams are getting killed off. And whatnot. Slowly but surely, he's killing it off himself. Eventually, and this is just my opinion, but eventually, he may be forced, because he won't stream earlier, because he's lazy. Eventually, what he's going to have to do is push the streams back. He's going to have to push, I think, originally, Phil used to stream at 12 o'clock, his time. Eventually, he might have to consider doing so. I mean, think about it. The way the pre-streams are going, he doesn't start till 12 anyway. But he might as well not start streaming until 12 o'clock. It might be his best bet. Because he's not doing himself any favors the way he's doing it.
You know, contributions are low, let's switch games. And now you're permanently banned. Sorry, sucker.
Someone named Tevin sent me $1 saying someone's streaming with 4,000 viewers. I don't even know who the hell that is. I don't know who that is or what you're talking about. What does it have to do with my game, my gameplay of this game? Nothing. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Anyway. No, I think what it is, sadly, there's an audience for this game. But the audience is not the audience that can tune into every live stream. And therefore, that audience will watch, but whenever they can sporadically, and or they'll watch on demand on YouTube. But I have to try to find games. If I'm going to do a long 4-hour gameplay stream, I have to find a game that's going to try to hook people at least for several of those hours. So not only do you get consistency, but there's interaction. You know, basically people started...
No, you're an idiot. First off, 1, you're the problem, obviously. 2, your time frame is the problem. You streaming from 10:30 to like, what? I think he streams till like 4:30, his time. Keep in mind, the pre-stream is from 10:30, 10:45 till about 12, and then he starts streaming. His time frame isn't very good. What he needs to do is start streaming earlier. He needs his stream, honestly, or at least the pre-stream, he needs to do this, and he won't, but he should, because there are analytics out there for times for people to stream, and depending on who you're trying, what demographic you're trying to reach and so on and so forth, that Phil should go for. The way I've seen it so far, I'm going to run this by James the Lesser and Agent Proper and Declan Reed, hopefully, when I get a chance, and see what their thoughts on it. But this is the way I've come up about it, is that he needs to start streaming at probably, I'd say 7:30, 8 a.m. Let's say 7:30. From 7:30 till 9 is the pre-stream. From 9 till, I'd say, like 2:30 maybe, is when he actually has the stream. Cuts the stream, does what he needs to do for 3 hours, whatever his usual break is, jump back in at 5 o'clock, and kill the stream at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Done. he has a better chance of catching more attention doing it, streaming earlier and cutting off his stream in the evening than continuing to do what he's doing now. His night streams are dying out except for the chill streams, and that's only, people only come out to those because they're ready to see him rant. The morning stream is garbage, or his earlier stream, I should say, is dumb. It's garbage. And he's slowly but surely losing attention. It's not the game's fault. As Snort Burnell said, it's the streamer. And a lot of that comes from the fact that it's his time frame. Phil wants to go to bed whenever he fucking wants to and get up whenever the fuck he wants to. Now, I'm saying, because he has his, in air quotes, his own business, you have to also try to patch in what's the best times to upload, or to stream. It's just like uploading videos. Some people can upload whenever the hell they want. Some people usually are on a particular time frame so people know when to catch it. Some people experiment with it. I'm all over the place when it comes to my loading shit, but that's what we do here. I'm not the only person that uploads here. There are other people who are kind of in charge of that. It just depends on who's here to make that happen. So if you guys are ever wondering why the uploading schedule is sporadic like that, you know why. It depends. You know what I mean? Some people can get better views in the evening than in the morning. Some people get better views in the daytime than either one of those. Either which way. But like I said, that's YouTube. For Twitch, though, it's kind of like being on a time frame. You have to kind of be on a schedule where you can try to get in where you're fit in. All he's doing is customizing the streams for the people who already show up on every day anyway. If he's trying to bring in new people, if he's trying to bring in new blood, if he's trying to get more money, he needs to switch up, and he's not willing to do it. He's just not willing to do it, and that's why he's failing as a business owner. Air quotes on that. I mean, here, let me give you another example real quick. It's not going to be quick, but you know what I mean. Look at back when internet blood sports was a thing, before they started cutting each other's throats and everything like that. I think in the beginning, I think Tonkasaw and Failure had the morning Kumite, and then it ended up being Andy Worski would end up popping in after they went off the air, maybe like 2 or 3 hours later. He would pop in for his show, and then the Ralph Retort had late night when he finally jumped in. Baked Alaska kind of fit himself in wherever he could, basically. And then you had Backyard Kumite, and you had some of these other ones that were straggling around there. You had Oomph and all them. They would kind of just get in where they fit in. But essentially, the top 3 guys, if you will, were all on a particular time frame. And Andy could go over time a little bit, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal because he would never really cross over into the Ralph Retort's actual, into their time slot. Same thing with the morning Kumite. At first, they used to stay on a very strict schedule, and they knew when to cut off so they could, so Andy ended up getting his, because they all had crossover audiences. And then people started getting butthurt, and then, everything else blew off after that. So it's kind of like that too. Now, was that mandatory between those 3? Did those 3 work that out? I don't think so. I think it was just a type of courtesy. It was a way of keeping what they were building strong and make sure everybody can eat. And everybody knew when everybody was going to be on. So it worked out. So if you needed a guest from one show to show up on another show, you gave them a couple hours to breathe before they end up going on. So they don't have to jump from the Kumite right to Andy. They can skip the Kumite, for example, on Monday, go on Andy's show Monday, and, later on Monday afternoon, and then Tuesday they could be on the Kumite and then be on the Ralph Retort and then not show back up till Thursday. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. But Phil doesn't even have to worry about that because he doesn't collaborate with other people. All he has to do is figure out how the schedule works for himself. But he's so goddamn lazy that he won't try another time slot. He wants to do what's convenient for him, and he expects people just to show up. And look at where he's at. Crying, complaining about he needs to find people that are going to be interested in the game. It's not the game's fault, it's you. And you need to change your time slots. And to be honest with you, he should just get rid of the night stream altogether. It's worthless.
At the very beginning of the stream, and then that's it. And this is the 3rd time in a fucking row
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
that I played this game and this has happened. I can't keep doing it. You know what I mean? Maybe this is a game for 2-hour segments, but every time I play this for 4 hours, when I come back from break, the stream attendance is halved and no one talks to me. And it's just me playing the game, and it's like the old days of YouTube. And that's not what people want. They want the new interactive style stream.
But here's the thing. Who the hell says that you need to be taking a 20-minute fucking break? You see how that don't work out? No, you shouldn't be taking 20-minute breaks like that. I'm not saying he shouldn't be able to go to the bathroom and have time to wipe his ass and everything. But he don't need a 20 fucking minute break, especially when 10 minutes of it, he's just going to sit there and look at the chat anyway. He did it to himself.
I'm not able to provide it when people completely disengage from me and don't talk to me for 2 straight hours of the stream. You know what I mean?
And he wants to blame them like it's their fault. No one has to stick a fucking round for you for 20 goddamn minutes. Who does that? Who leaves their live stream for 20 fucking minutes to go off and do something that isn't an emergency of some type? He expects people just to sit around. The audience don't have to do that when they have choices. And that's what kills Phil, is people have choices. Good choices. They don't have to deal with Phil.
That's what happens every fucking time that I play this game. So I think I'm gonna have to play this game on night streams from now on. Which sucks, because right now I really don't have anything to do for daytime streams. Like every game...
Here, let me give you an example. Think of... let me just name a couple people who stream. Like Dark Dave Mirrors, as you know, his streams come on and off automatically either which way. Think about Tevin. When Tevin streams, he'll stream like 6 hours and he don't leave. And if he does, you don't even notice it. And whatnot. You'd be like the Phantom with that shit. James the Lesser. When he streams, he'll stream for like 4 or 5 hours and you don't see him leave. And he's constantly engaged. Agent Proper of the DIA, same way. LSB, the same way. And if LSB does have to pick up and leave, he makes sure to let you know, hey guys, I gotta go and do something for a minute. I'll be right back. He's gone for a couple minutes. The longest I've ever seen LSB be off of his stream in the times that I've watched him is maybe 5 minutes. Maybe. It might have been 5 minutes. And that's usually when he goes and walks Rocky. And even then, I don't think he's gone any more than maybe 10. But I'd say I've never seen him leave more than 5 minutes. And you can do a lot in 5 minutes, Phil. You of all people with that flapping incident should know. So, what's the problem? What does Phil need 20 goddamn minutes for? No one's obligated to sit there and indulge you in your shit content.
Judgment, The Sunken City, right? These are 3 games that aren't engaging enough to be mainstream games, and I don't have anything else to play as a mainstream game right now. So, I don't know, man.
This is unacceptable. I'm not going to let my 10-year legacy be destroyed because you guys are basically lazy.
You know, I just don't know. I don't know what to say. I have to find...
You don't know what to say. Mr. Businessman, Mr. 10-year legacy, has to rely on new games to keep attention. Has brand new games and still can't hold anybody's attention. Womp womp.
That'll hook people for a mainstream, and I can't. Right now, there are none. There's no games that have been, oh, it's going to get that mainstream attention. You know what I mean? So, Coagular Patch...
I thought you said all that mainstream hype was bad for the gaming industry anyway. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
$5 and said, we play Apex Legends again now that Season 2 is out. Those streams with Brian and Kekken were fun, and I showed support to another one. The thing is, that game's dead. Like, no lie, that game is fucking dead. The only people who still play it or follow it are the people who are, like, hardcore into that streaming community of just Battle Royale. I played it for 2 months with those guys. There was nothing left to do in the game. It was boring when we were playing it because we were winning, and there was basically nothing to it.
There ain't no wee bitch. That was... I'm not sorry. There was no wee bitch. That was Brian and Kekken that were basically carrying the team. You were a fucking liability. That's what that was. You were a liability. You weren't doing not a goddamn thing. You were running around hoarding fucking... sorry. He was out there hoarding basically equipment and resources. He wasn't doing not a goddamn thing to really help with the team. He would sit there and do shout-outs on some shit that was completely obvious. Oh, I got sight on this one person coming on. Shoot him! Shoot him! He's heading your way. What do you mean heading your way? Is he moving north? Is he moving south? Tell me where he's going. I'm down. That was Apex. And Brian and Kekken were basically carrying his ass. Consistently. The only thing that made those streams fucking mildly entertaining was those two. More Brian than anything, but, you know, Kekken has his moments. But that was it. He wasn't doing shit. And the thing is, I think, is that he was getting mad that Brian and Kekken, mainly Brian, were catching a lot of attention and he wasn't. And he was getting pissed off at it. That's why he wanted to stop playing it. So even when he has a formula that works, it was only once a week, It was on what? On Saturdays or Sundays they were playing once a week. He couldn't even spare that. He couldn't even shed a little bit of his bullshit jealousy skin to do something that's best for the stream, for the people who are watching. No, I can't share the spotlight with anybody. Okay, so you want to fail alone. Then fail alone then. But don't blame anybody else.
Season 2, one new character, a new gun, and I guess at some point there's creatures you fight. It's the same fucking map. It's the same fucking game. They didn't do anything to innovate and make the game different from what I'm to understand. Like I said, if people actually tell me, oh, Apex Legends has a giant update that's so different and the game's really cool now, you gotta check it out. It came out today. Not a single person has come on stream until right now, Coagulopathy, you, and said that I should even consider playing it. No one seems to care. No one just seems to give a crap about it.
Oh, you mean like the rest of the games, huh? So yet again, whose fault is it? Is it the game or is it you? Just saying. Because apparently, like he said, before Apex Legends was even recommended to him, he can't hold anybody's attention for 3 straight days on 3 brand new releases. But yet, for whatever reason, he has enough piggy psychosis on himself. He casted it on himself. Like this was Kenshin or some shit, where he thinks that it's really not his fault. He has himself under his own psychosis. It's the game's fault. It's the game's fault. Oh, and it's your guys' fault too for not supporting it. Fuck out of here.
I'm waiting for people to talk to me. No one's really talking to me right now. No one pays attention to the game. No one pays attention to Phil. So if anyone actually wants to talk to me while I play this game, it would be nice. You know, this is a gameplay stream that I like to interact with my viewers. So if anyone wants to like hang out and talk, I'd appreciate that. Rather than me just playing the game by myself and you guys ignoring me.
Look what kind of lonely son of a bitch this guy is. Here, ladies and gentlemen, let me actually break this down for you. I'm not going to break it down. Let's just simplify it. This is what the stream's supposed to be. You come to the stream, you entertain him, you interact with him through, obviously, your support, donations, and all that. So you come to the streams to up his numbers, so Twitch at least thinks he's not the true failure that he really is. You guys give him money so he can live the lifestyle he wants, even though he can't sustain it. And you guys provide the entertainment and talking points so it seems like he's interactive. Here's the problem. 1, he can't hold viewership, so that means nothing. 2, all the contributions, since he spurges it on dumb shit anyway, it's useless, so he's basically a bottomless pit, and he's always going to beg for money. And 3, as it pertains to the interaction, he don't know nothing. He won't pick up a book and read. He won't fucking check the newspaper. He won't look at any news sites online or anything. All he can do is tell you what's trending on Twitter. He has nothing else. He has no volume. He has no range. He has no depth. And because of those things, he has nothing to talk about. He can't even tell you about shit in the gaming industry. He can only tell you about the drama. The one thing allegedly he tries to stay away from. But that's all he knows. And the only reason why he doesn't talk about most of it is because he's scared it's going to come back on him. So he's a fucking coward. So what else does he have? Nothing. Nothing. And he wonders why day in, day out, he fails.
Or else I don't even know why you're in here. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying, you know. It would be nice.
You know, so it is what it is. I know Brian is playing it today. He was all excited about playing it this week. I mean, I guess I can ask him what he thought. But I don't think that's going to... Plus, the other thing is when I do those streams, people complain that I have to interact with Brian and Kekin, and I can't talk to stream chatters. So I'm disengaged from the stream chatters, and therefore they don't like those streams that much. They liked it like 1 or 2 times, and after that they basically say it's the same thing over and over. It's boring. You see what I mean? What's hilarious is now we got Barambis saying, oh, there's plenty of other games that would have been better than these slow plotting games, but you just didn't pick them. Okay. Right. Okay. There's only a million other games to play. Yeah, Bloodstained, which is a Metroidvania game that I've played Metroidvania games before. Everyone complains, says they're boring. Let's see, what else? What was the other one that I didn't play? Because there were 2 that I skipped. Basically, every game that I skip, people don't want to see. Then I play games, I don't want to see those either.
You really think you only skipped 2 games? You really only thought you skipped 2 games? What about the games for PC? What about the games on Xbox? How about you be honest and tell them that you only play games that you want to play? And it's ironic how those games keep failing when Phil wants to play them. Maybe because Phil's not entertaining. It has nothing to do, your choice of games had nothing to do with what the audience wanted, what your fan base wanted. It's about what was comfortable for you and what you wanted to play. What you thought was going to be good. And let's be honest, Phil, how many times have you admitted, I don't know what's good anymore? You never really did. You never knew what was good. Because if you did, you wouldn't have lost Panda. If you did, you won't be eventually losing your white cat. If you knew what was good, right, you wouldn't have had to have your parents fly you out back to, wouldn't have had your parents fly you back home so you could sit on their couch like a fucking loser and beg them for money to pay for your wedding and to pay for your goddamn taxes. Just saying. Just saying. I'll be that asshole to say that, because someone needs to.
Help you. I don't know what to tell you. You actually need an attention span. How's my favorite note? Was 100% solved. But Rambus, yes, playing viewer maps in Mario Maker 2 is fun, and there's not enough to support 4 hours. There's literally, that would be one session.
You're a fucking liar. How many times have you failed on the... First off, he picks the most popular maps, or stages, I should say, and then fails at them for like 2 hours. Why do you always pick the most popular? Pick some of the newer ones that are out. Pick some of the regular ones. That's why they're broken down into categories. There are plenty of them out there. But he wants to go with the more popular ones because he's a fucking asshole and is a whore. And it doesn't help him. Because he doesn't have enough experience with the game that he can't maneuver well. Why do you think they have death counters on him and he fucking will die in one stage 200 goddamn times? And he'll die in the same place like 20 times. Because he never learns. But he doesn't have to play the most popular maps. It's not necessary. Play some of the other ones. He makes it sound like the game is limited, and some of these idiots who watch him believe it. The game is not limited. It's Phil. It's DSP, it's Darkside Phil. He's the limited motherfucker in this whole situation. He is the weakest link. It's just taking a while for the rest of the brain dead idiots to catch up.
Wouldn't be enough to support 4 hours. The game just came out, dude. It'd be one thing if this were... like 3 weeks from now, a month from now, when everyone's had a ridiculous amount of time to make creative.
And I understand where Snort Burnell is coming from, where he's unable to create a stage. How could he? He doesn't have any creativity. He doesn't have any talent. So why would he? Why would he bother? He could make his own stage, and I almost guarantee he'd fail at it. So what would be the point? It'd be amusing, but what would be the point?
The game just came out on Friday. No one's, there's not enough time for people to make 100 creative maps that are good. You know? What a waste. And I'm gonna do the user creative stuff tomorrow night for 2 hours. I guarantee you there'll be just enough time to check out the good stuff, and then I'll have to wait another 1 to 2 weeks for more good stuff to regenerate in it for me to play it again. That's how it works with those kind of games. I know, I played Mario Maker 1, and what I did is I would wait like a month, and then I would do a 4-hour stream of it, and that would be it. There's nothing else to do. Alright, anyway, let me...
Yet again, probably playing the most popular maps. Or most popular stages, I'm sorry. And that was it. So he's purposely limiting himself because he wants to prove himself right. When he only makes himself look that much more stupid. Amazing. Amazing. In a field, in a genre where creativity is the driving force behind it, not only from the creative standpoint of the actual creators and the developers and so on and so forth of the games, but even of the streamers. You have to bring a level of personality to the games that you're playing, and he can't even do that. But it's everybody else's fault, not his, though. Keep that in mind.
Save. Haven't saved it all today. Let's save. Chapter 4, Skeletons in the Closet, and we'll go from here next time. Alright. Alrighty, everybody. So that is it for today's gameplay stream.
I want to say thank you everyone who tuned in and joined me. Thank you for everyone who contributed. Even though it was slow, especially the second half of the stream was real slow, at least we had fun, right?
Here's another thing, and this is me nitpicking, but look at him. You're telling me you can't shave at all when you come on stream? You look like a fucking bum. You look like a fucking bum in a Pac-Man shirt. And him being older and playing video games, there's nothing wrong with that, but goddamn, be presentable. At least.
I like the game a lot. Like I said, I wish more...
So then what you do is you take it... Sorry. But you take his appearance And then you take it. Then you take how he bitches and complains about every little thing, and he wonders why people call him a dinosaur, why people call him a man-child, why people call him a bitch, why people call him a fucking loser.
And I don't know why people won't tune into this game when I'm loving it. I think it actually makes it better than Yakuza in my opinion, but it is what it is, I guess.
Tonight, the best way if you guys want to help me out is by tipping me. The next 2 weeks are going to be incredibly financially tight to the point where I know I'm probably going to run out of money and get overdrawn on my bank account again. There's nothing I can do about it.
McDonald's.
You got fucked up.
LSB, get a job.
Yeah, there you go.
Buddy.
Give up. Go get a job. Go get a 9-to-5 job and give up. And I'm not going to. I'm going to keep plugging at this. I'm going to keep plugging away. I'm going to stay with the support of the people around me.
I don't get paid by Twitch until the middle of the month, so I've got 2 weeks here where I know I'm going to have no money. Anything that you guys can help with tips is
Where's the YouTube money? Where's the Patreon money?
When you tip me, those are funds I can put straight towards bills, and hopefully, within the next few months I can alleviate this situation, but for now I'm kind of stuck. So please, if at all you can tonight, please tip me. That's the best way to support. I'm still appreciative for anything that you guys contribute. Understand that contributions are not mandatory. They are optional, but I'm super appreciative of those who help keep the stuff going here and help me through these tough times, so thank you very much. So far that makes him the top contributor, and he says, my family wondered why I was singing such vulgar songs in the shower. It is not recommended that you sing any of my pre-stream songs in the shower.
Lol. I don't even know what to do. Well, how do you fix this? I did everything the game told me to do, and the game's glitch and won't progress. So I might be done. I might not be able to beat the game at all. It might be.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. I want to talk about that a little bit. If you've ever seen Sinking City and you see some of the characters in there, like one guy, he kind of has basically looks like a monkey out of Planet of the Apes. There was some chick who had her lips sewed and all types of stuff. And they're in the dialogue tree. There's an option that you get to ask these people, why is it that you look this way? Why is it that, what's this about your appearance or the way you talk or whatever? And he completely avoids those things. The reason why is because, one, he's a coward yet again, and two, because he knows that he doesn't matter whether positive, negative, horrible or not, he's going to make an offhanded joke about it that's going to piss somebody off. And instead of just being a man and taking it, and showing some type of self-control, he won't. And he's killing off the storyline by doing it. They put that option there for a reason. But he won't do it, so he's missing a large bulk of the story. Or at least a character trait amongst each one of these characters that could help him later on. I think you play as a detective in this game. So all the information you can get is you need to try to get all the information you can get. Let me reword that. Sorry about that. And the idiot won't do it because he doesn't have enough self-control to shit on a character or their backstory. Imagine that.
Perma-glitched. The only thing I can think of is saving and reloading. No, Mr. Hoppy Poppy, I found everything. I'm reading a fucking fact right now and it says I found everything.
What?
I feel like if I dedicate enough time and effort, I will beat any game. Have some fucking pride in your work.
Like, there's no effort here at all.
Minimum effort, minimum money and time involved, maximum profit. Is saying, how can we have revenue streams from idiots? How do we fool the common moron into giving us money for zero effort? And so now I can just turn on a webcam and immediately guys just throw me money with zero effort. And obviously it's not even quality, it's just exploiting, right? It's exploitation is the real word for it, I guess.
Letter from the orphanage, found it. Inspect the tools to make the ships, found it. The miniature ship on the table, found it. Got the little loot in the locker and the bullets on the table. Use the mind's eye to find the hidden torture room, found it. Picked up the lab flask and inspected it. Investigate the dead little monster. The fish is poisonous. Use the deduction, the poison fish is spreading. Javelin stuck in the box and crafting materials. I did both of those.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is supposed to be a playthrough. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be a playthrough. You're supposed to be immersed in the game and discovering things along with Phil. That's what the whole point of this is. You're supposed to play through a game and progress through it naturally, as if him and John were sitting there doing it together. And what does he do? Because John ain't there to hold his hand, and because for whatever reason the chat isn't responding, or they're not giving him enough money, or whatever the case may be, he has to go online and find a guide for it. Just so he doesn't come across as a total fucking failure. Imagine that. DSP News?
I did it all. The game's just fucked up.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
How was the game to stream? Well, we finished up the main side quest we've been doing for over 2 hours, and it had an interesting resolution. We learned a little bit more about the lore of the game, with someone being able to be trapped in a mirror and stuff, which was kind of weird. This main quest is okay so far, just the gameplay mechanics are so annoying, you don't know what's going on. Gee, the game glitched, but there's something else I was supposed to do. Just the gameplay is not very exciting at all. Like I said, these streams for this game will be a lot more interesting if people interact with me.
This kind of shit needs to come out. This kind of shit needs to be exposed for what it is. It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I just care about money. I just can't help it. I'm so just enveloped in greed and money. I need money. I need money. I have no fucking self-control. All right, I've appeared.
But it's not just money. Like I said earlier, he needs people to basically interact with him and be his entertainment so he can be entertaining himself. And it just doesn't work that way. If he could have people, if he could have people play the game for him as he talked, he would. Let's be honest, he would. And with that being said, I wanted you guys to go back to the Halloween stream of 2018. Allegedly, the birth of It Was Tevin's Fault. If he had let Cat play and him focus on the chat, a whole lot more money would have came in and it would have been a whole lot more interesting as a stream. Or if he had let Cat engage be in front of the laptop and engage with the chat while he played the game, and there was just a little bit of interaction between the two of them, it would have been a whole lot more interesting. But no, Phil wanted to play the game and he wanted to monitor the chat. And you can't do both. And she was bored out of her goddamn mind, and that's why she left. Had not a goddamn thing to do with Tevin. It had to do with, you're a fucking idiot, you're a fucking failure, and you got what you deserved. That's what it came down to. You were absolute useless, and it was apparent to everybody but you. And then you had the nerve to come back and blame Tevin and blame Almighty A Gang like they were responsible for your failure. And then lied and said they were the ones who ran her off the stream when you told us the day before that she wasn't going to be there the whole time. She had a prior engagement. Because I very likely doubt she dressed up the way she did just to be on stream with your dumbass sweating on that couch or love seat. Which makes no sense either, because there ain't no love in that house anyway.
Apparently exposed myself again. There you go. I've exposed myself again, guys. I completely exposed myself. There you go. I've been exposed.
And we end up having, fun that way. Because the bottom line is, the game itself does not hold up at all. It just doesn't. It's not very entertaining. It's very slow moving. It has issues, with the investigation mechanics. It's just, it's not a game that's some kind of a 5-star game that's going to hold you over. This is a game that if you're going to play it, you got to have, interactions with people and stuff, because outside of that, it's not very riveting, alright?
Alright, guys, so bottom line is, thank you for a fun stream. Even though the game itself isn't so great, at least we had some fun conversations, and I do appreciate that. Thanks to everyone who did contribute, even though a lot of the contributions tonight were troll contributions with a lot of insulting things, insinuations, and just nasty stuff. That's why I didn't read a lot of them. And I apologize for that. It is what it is. I know that people are not super excited by this game. I get it. I'm not super excited by this game. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is. But years ago, I had a situation where I had an uric acid buildup in my body because I had a bad lifestyle where I was drinking too much, I was eating too much red meat and acidic foods. So there you go. The answer is, could I possibly get like an outburst of gout again? I could actually, if I don't watch my diet. If I either start drinking heavily on a regular basis, or I start eating a lot of red meat and shellfish again, or if I stop drinking the cherry juice that I drink every day for dinner, yeah.
So then yet again, you still have gout. You're just regulating it. He's had outbursts where he's like, I don't have gout anymore. I don't know why everybody keeps bringing this shit up. It's not funny. I had gout. I had a flare up, but I don't have it anymore. Yes, you still have it. You still have it. You don't drink as much, but you still drink. Who knows what you're really eating? Because last time I checked, Kat was making you burgers or some shit like that, right? Or she's done it before, and you didn't feel too good after that. That was funny. And you have to drink cherry juice with every meal to keep your gout at bay. You still have it. Goddamn, you gonna drink cherry juice every day with every meal? Wow, you a slave to that shit. Ugh, that's horrible.
Probably could have a big bad outbreak, but in general, as long as I stay on the regimen I'm on, I should be okay. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh, easy to eat. Oh, Phil.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, I wasn't expecting there to be two, but I'm actually kind of glad that that's what happened, because that was fun. All right, so let me do this real fast. Alrighty. Alrighty. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for that. So, let's go ahead and do a quick rundown, because I kind of went hard in the paint a little bit on that one. So, as it pertains to the sub goal, uninspiring as usual, which is kind of DSP's forte, is to be uninspiring, so he's not failing there. As for his first purchase, it's going to be one of many. Yet again, he could have tested this out behind the scenes with the game codes at least, and it could have been a much smoother transition instead of bitching and complaining to a group of people who you're trying to convince to help you by giving you game codes. And if they feel like the system is bugged, or they could lose money on it trying to help you, they're not going to be as eager to do so. I don't know how that's so hard for him to figure out, but that is what that is. And excuse me. And as it pertains to the low interactions and using a guide, he's a cheater, and he's not willing to sit there and figure out anything on his own because he doesn't like games. So why should that surprise anybody? And the low interaction, as it was stated there, he falls asleep during streams a lot, especially the evening streams. He doesn't care about gaming. It's all he can do. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean to overstate the obvious, but this is all he has. He has nothing else. There is no future for Darkside Phil, for DSP, for Phil Burnell. He is stuck right where he's at. He can't do anything else. He really can't. And he can sit there and say that it's all the trolls' fault, or sorry, it's all of the detractors or critics' faults for all that bullshit all you want. He chose this. And even in his profession that he's in now, he could make it better. He could do better if he would push himself to do so. But he can't. He won't. No one should owe him any sympathy for that. Let him fail. Like I said, you guys know what one of the slogans is on this channel. Give him enough rope and he'll hang himself. And he does a very good job doing it. He goes out of his way to do it. So why interrupt that? Why? Why? He talks all this nonsense about how these people wouldn't be around without him, this, that, and the third. If you're so good at what you do, then prove me wrong and do better. But you won't. You couldn't prove me wrong, you couldn't prove the detractors that came before me, and you won't prove the detractors that come after me. Well, after all of us, you know what I mean? I'm just using myself as the example. So then what? You think outlasting anybody means a goddamn thing? You think drowning slow? Or no, wrong analogy. You think starving is better than dying outright? You would rather die slow than have a quick and merciful end. Alright then, let him have it. Let him have it. And let's see how he goes from there. Because mommy and daddy ain't going to be around forever. And the moment he collects on that nonsense after his cousin takes her piece, how long do you think that'll last him? Do you think Phil's really going to smarten up and do well by the money that's going to be given to him? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. It's a little bit rant heavy, but you know, it's nice to throw one of those in every once in a while. It came from a good place. It came from a good place. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this. Thank you very much for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. This is DSP News, always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. For the Snort Report, I am your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Take care of yourselves, guys. End the broadcast. His failure is amusing.